Death is one of life's biggest mysteries. Have you ever wondered what really happens after we leave this world? In this video, we're diving into different beliefs and perspectives on what comes next. From religious views to scientific theories, we're breaking down what various cultures and philosophies have to say about the afterlife. Watching this video can help you better understand the many beliefs about life after death, offering comfort and clarity about the unknown. Whether you've lost someone close or are just curious about what might be beyond this life, you're in the right place. Have you ever thought about what happens when we die? Is there an afterlife, or is it the end of everything? Let's explore this mystery together and uncover what different traditions, religions, and even science have to say about what could be waiting for us after death. Death is the ultimate equalizer. No matter who we are, where we come from, or what we believe, death is something that awaits all of us. It's the one certainty in life that connects every human being on this planet. We spend our lives learning, growing, and experiencing, but in the end, we all face the same fate. This inevitability often makes people uncomfortable, but it's a fact that we cannot escape. For many of us, thinking about death can be scary or overwhelming. It's a topic that most people would rather avoid, perhaps because it forces us to confront our own mortality and the limits of our existence. But death can also be seen as a reminder to live fully and to appreciate the time we have. Knowing that life is finite can encourage us to prioritize what truly matters. In some ways, death is like a mirror reflecting the value of life. When we realize that our time here is limited, we may start to think more deeply about how we want to spend that time. Do we want to chase after superficial achievements, or do we want to focus on relationships, experiences, and personal growth? The inevitability of death can help clarify our goals and aspirations. Ultimately, accepting death as a natural part of life can bring a sense of peace. It's something that every person must face, and it can unify us in our shared humanity. By acknowledging and accepting death, we may find ourselves more connected to the present moment, more compassionate towards others, and more intentional about how we live our lives. Birth and death are two sides of the same coin. While birth is celebrated with joy and excitement, death is often met with silence and sadness. This contrast reflects our cultural attitudes towards life's beginning and end. We throw big parties for birthdays, graduations, and weddings, but when it comes to funerals or memorials, the tone is much more subdued, almost as if we're afraid to fully engage with the reality of death. This reluctance to discuss death openly can lead to a lack of preparation and understanding when it does happen. Many people find themselves unprepared emotionally and practically when faced with the death of a loved one, because it's not something we're taught to think about or plan for. Our focus on celebrating life's milestones often means we neglect to acknowledge the natural end of life's journey. However, talking about death doesn't have to be morbid or depressing. It can be an opportunity to reflect on what makes life meaningful and how we want to be remembered. Just as we celebrate new beginnings, we can find ways to honor life's endings with grace and dignity. By doing so, we can create a healthier relationship with death and the grieving process. Embracing both birth and death as natural parts of the human experience can help us live more fully. Just as we prepare for and celebrate life's beginnings, we can also prepare for and honor its end. This balanced perspective allows us to see life as a complete cycle, where every beginning has an end, and every end leads to new beginnings. The process of dying is as unique as the life that precedes it. While the experience can vary greatly from person to person, there are some common physical changes that typically occur. As the body starts to shut down, the heart stops beating, and blood circulation slows. These changes often happen gradually, giving the person's loved ones time to say their goodbyes. One of the most noticeable signs of approaching death is a change in breathing patterns, known as Cheyne-Stokes respiration. This pattern involves periods of rapid breathing followed by moments of no breathing at all. It can be unsettling to witness, but it's a natural part of the body's process of letting go. Understanding these changes can help demystify the experience of dying, making it less frightening for those who are there to support. Another aspect of the dying process is the gradual loss of consciousness. As the body shuts down, many people enter a state of deep relaxation, almost like falling asleep. This can be a peaceful time, both for the person who is dying and for their loved ones, as it allows for a gentle transition. Often, there are signs that the person is no longer aware of their surroundings, which can bring comfort to those watching, knowing that their loved one is not in pain or distress. Although the physical process of dying can seem daunting, it is important to remember that it is a natural part of life. Just as the body knows how to be born and grow, it also knows how to die. By understanding the stages of dying, we can be better prepared to provide support and comfort to those who are going through it, helping them transition with dignity and peace. Near-death experiences, NDEs, are some of the most intriguing phenomena related to death. People who have been clinically dead but later revived often report vivid experiences that defy explanation. These experiences can include seeing a bright light, feeling a profound sense of peace, or encountering deceased loved ones. For those who have had an NDE, the experience is often life-changing, providing a sense of clarity and purpose that can be hard to describe. The stories of those who have had NDEs vary widely, but there are some common themes. Many people describe a sensation of leaving their body and observing events from above. Some report traveling through a tunnel or moving towards a bright light. Others talk about meeting spiritual beings or experiencing a life review, where they see key moments from their life flash before them. These experiences are often described as intensely real, sometimes more real than everyday life. One of the most fascinating aspects of NDEs is that they seem to occur across cultures and religions, suggesting that they might be a universal part of the human experience. Some researchers believe that NDEs could provide insights into the nature of consciousness and what happens to us after we die. While science has yet to fully explain these experiences, they continue to inspire both curiosity and hope. Whether or not NDEs offer a glimpse into an afterlife, they undeniably have a profound impact on those who experience them. Many people who have had NDEs come back with a renewed appreciation for life and a diminished fear of death. They often describe feeling more connected to others and more committed to living a life filled with love and purpose. This transformation suggests that, at the very least, NDEs offer a powerful reminder of the preciousness of life. One of the most intriguing aspects of near-death experiences is the idea that all our memories remain intact, even as we approach death. During an NDE, some people report reliving memories they had long forgotten, as if their entire life was playing out before them. This phenomenon suggests that our minds may hold on to every experience we've ever had, even those buried deep in our subconscious. The idea that all our memories are stored somewhere in our brains raises fascinating questions about consciousness. If these memories can resurface at the end of life, what does that say about the nature of our minds? It implies that consciousness might be more complex and enduring than we currently understand, potentially persisting even as the body shuts down. Some researchers suggest that these memory flashes during NDEs could be the brain's way of processing information in its final moments, or they could be a byproduct of the brain's chemistry during extreme stress. Others believe that these experiences hint at a deeper, more profound aspect of human consciousness that we have yet to fully comprehend. Whatever the explanation, the idea that our minds retain all our memories adds a layer of mystery to the dying process. These experiences also challenge the conventional understanding of what happens to the mind as we die. If we can access forgotten memories at the end of life, does that mean our consciousness somehow continues? While there is no definitive answer, these stories provide a powerful reminder that there is still much we don't know about the mind, memory, and what happens to us after death. Contrary to the fear that death is a lonely, isolating experience, many people who have had near-death experiences report feeling the opposite. Instead of darkness or emptiness, they often describe a sense of connection, love, and comfort. Some see deceased loved ones who welcome them, while others feel a comforting presence, as if they are not alone in their final moments. These experiences suggest that death might be less about separation and more about reunion. The idea that we are greeted by those who have gone before us can bring comfort to those facing the end of life and to their loved ones. It paints a picture of death as a transition rather than an end, where the journey continues in the company of those we have lost. The presence of loved ones or comforting figures during NDEs raises questions about what death truly entails. Is it a solitary journey, or is it a passage accompanied by those who have been important in our lives? These experiences challenge the notion of death as a final, isolating event and offer a different perspective, one that is filled with hope and connection. For many, the idea that death is not a solitary experience can change how we view the end of life. Instead of seeing it as a loss or a descent into darkness, it can be seen as a return to a state of love and unity. This shift in perspective can help alleviate some of the fear associated with death, allowing us to approach it with a sense of peace and acceptance. The question of what happens after we die is one of humanity's oldest and most profound mysteries. Despite advances in science and technology, we still have no concrete answers. Some believe in an afterlife, a place where souls continue to exist, while others think death is the end of consciousness, a final curtain that brings our experiences to a close. Religious and spiritual traditions offer a variety of answers to this mystery. Many religions teach that there is a life after death, where souls are rewarded or punished based on their actions in this life. Others believe in reincarnation, where the soul returns in a new form, continuing its journey through different lives and experiences. Scientific perspectives tend to focus on the physical and biological aspects of death, often suggesting that consciousness ceases when the brain stops functioning. However, the mystery remains, as there is much about the human brain and consciousness that we still don't understand. Near-death experiences and other phenomena challenge the idea that death is simply the end, suggesting that there may be more to the story. Ultimately, what happens after death may be something that we can never fully understand while we are alive. The mystery itself can be both unsettling and inspiring, prompting us to explore our beliefs and to consider the deeper questions about our existence. While we may never have definitive answers, the search for understanding can bring meaning and purpose to our lives. Different cultures around the world have unique ways of dealing with death and honoring those who have passed. In some societies, death is a time of mourning, marked by solemn rituals and ceremonies. In others, it is seen as a celebration of life, with colorful festivals and joyful gatherings. These diverse practices reflect the wide range of beliefs about what happens after death and how we should honor the dead. In many Western cultures, funerals are often somber affairs, focused on grieving and saying goodbye. People wear black, speak in hushed tones, and pay their respects in quiet, formal settings. This approach reflects a view of death as a serious, final event, and the rituals are designed to provide closure and comfort to those who are left behind. In contrast, some cultures view death as a natural part of life's cycle, and their rituals reflect this belief. In Mexico, for example, the Day of the Dead is a vibrant celebration where families honor their deceased loved ones with altars, offerings, and colorful decorations. This tradition sees death not as an end but as a continuation of life, with the deceased remaining a part of the community in spirit. These cultural differences highlight the various ways people understand and cope with death. By learning about different mourning rituals, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the diverse ways humans find meaning and comfort in the face of loss. It also reminds us that there is no right or wrong way to grieve. Each culture and individual has its own way of processing and honoring death. Grief is a natural response to losing someone we love, and it's a process that everyone experiences differently. It can involve a wide range of emotions, from sadness and anger to relief and confusion. Understanding that grief is not a linear process can help us be more compassionate with ourselves and others as we navigate the loss. One of the most challenging aspects of grief is that it often comes in waves. Just when we think we are starting to heal, a memory or a trigger can bring back the pain as if the loss just happened. This can be frustrating and disheartening, but it's also a normal part of the grieving process. Allowing ourselves to feel these emotions without judgment is an important step in healing. Grieving can also bring unexpected gifts. It can deepen our appreciation for life and strengthen our relationships with others. Through grief, we often learn to prioritize what truly matters, letting go of petty concerns and focusing on what brings us joy and fulfillment. It can be a painful journey, but it can also be a transformative one. Finding ways to honor and remember the person who has passed can also be a crucial part of the grieving process. Whether it's through creating a memorial, sharing stories, or continuing a tradition, these acts of remembrance can provide comfort and help us feel connected to our loved ones even after they are gone. Grief is a deeply personal journey, and finding what works best for us can help us move forward with love and resilience. Thinking about death might seem morbid or uncomfortable, but it can actually be a powerful way to enrich our lives. When we take time to reflect on our own mortality, it can help us prioritize what's truly important. Instead of getting caught up in daily stresses or superficial concerns, we might start to focus more on what brings us joy and fulfillment. This reflection can also motivate us to live more authentically. Knowing that our time is limited can push us to take risks, pursue our passions, and spend time with the people we love. It encourages us to live with intention, making choices that align with our values and desires. In this way, thinking about death can actually help us live more fully. Reflecting on death can also help us cultivate a deeper sense of gratitude. When we remember that life is not guaranteed, we may find ourselves more appreciative of the small moments, the laughter of a friend, the warmth of the sun, the taste of a good meal. This heightened awareness can make even the mundane feel extraordinary, adding richness and depth to our everyday experiences. Finally, contemplating death can foster a sense of peace. By accepting death as a natural part of life, we can reduce our fear of the unknown and embrace the present moment. It reminds us that, in the grand scheme of things, we are all part of something much bigger than ourselves. This perspective can help us find meaning and purpose, no matter where we are in our journey.